7 signs you're trapped in toxic thinking patterns, stuck in a low vibration. Have you ever felt like no matter what you do, life keeps pulling you back into the same struggles, the same frustrations, the same emotions? Like you're trapped in a loop, replaying the same thoughts over and over again, unable to break free? What if I told you that your mind is not just thinking, it's broadcasting? That every thought you have carries a frequency, and that frequency is shaping the reality you experience. The truth is, most people are stuck in toxic thinking patterns without even realizing it. They believe their suffering is caused by external circumstances, but in reality, it's their own vibration fueled by their thoughts that is keeping them stuck. And if you don't break free from these patterns, you will continue reliving the same experiences over and over, like a record on repeat. The most dangerous thing about toxic thinking is that it feels normal. It feels like reality. You wake up, and the first thoughts in your mind are worries, regrets, or frustrations. You go through your day analyzing what went wrong, replaying conversations, convincing yourself that you're not enough, that life is unfair, that things will never change. And because these thoughts are so familiar, you don't question them. You assume they are just the way things are. But here's what you need to understand. Your mind is not just a passive observer of life, it is a creator of life. Every thought you think is sending out a signal, and that signal is attracting experiences that match it. If your mind is filled with negativity, doubt, and fear, you are literally tuning your reality to those frequencies. You are calling in more of the very things you want to escape.
Click subscribe to this channel to get more profound spiritual lesson.
But how do you know if you're trapped in low vibrational thinking? The first sign is constant self-criticism. If your inner voice is always tearing you down, telling you that you're not good enough, that you're a failure, that you'll never succeed, then you are living in a toxic cycle of self-doubt. This kind of thinking is like poison. It weakens your energy, lowers your vibration, and makes it nearly impossible to attract anything positive into your life. The top 1% of spiritually awakened individuals understand that their thoughts must align with what they want to create. They do not allow negative self-talk to run their lives. They train themselves to think in a way that supports their highest potential. The second sign is living in the past. If you constantly replay old mistakes, regrets, or painful memories, you are anchoring yourself to a lower frequency. Your past is not meant to define you, it is meant to teach you. But if you keep reliving it in your mind, you are feeding energy into a reality that no longer exists. And the more energy you give it, the more you recreate it in the present. The most enlightened individuals know that the only moment that truly exists is now. They do not waste energy on the past. They extract the lessons, release the pain, and move forward with clarity. The third sign is seeing problems instead of possibilities. When you are trapped in toxic thinking, your mind is wired to focus on what's wrong. You wake up and immediately think about what you lack, what you fear, what could go wrong. Your brain becomes addicted to negativity, scanning for problems instead of solutions. And because your focus determines your reality, you start manifesting more obstacles, more struggles, more reasons to feel stuck. But what if you trained your mind to operate differently? What if, instead of looking for reasons why something won't work, you looked for reasons why it will? What if, instead of assuming the worst, you asked yourself, what if everything is actually working in my favor? That simple shift in thinking could change your entire life. The fourth sign is emotional exhaustion. If you always feel drained, unmotivated, or uninspired, your thoughts are likely keeping you stuck in low vibrational states. Every thought you think affects your energy. Positive, expansive thoughts generate energy. Negative, constricting thoughts drain energy. The top 1% understand this deeply. They do not allow their minds to be a battlefield of doubt, fear, or limitation. They guard their energy fiercely, knowing that their vibration determines everything they attract. The fifth sign is seeking validation from others. When you are trapped in toxic thinking, you rely on external approval to feel worthy. You shape your actions, your choices, even your identity around what others think. But this need for validation keeps you in a constant state of insecurity. You give away your power because your self-worth is dependent on something outside of you. But here's the truth: no amount of approval from others will ever fill the void if you do not approve of yourself. The most powerful individuals do not seek validation, they radiate self-certainty. They know who they are, and they do not need permission to exist fully. The sixth sign is resisting change. If you fear the unknown, if you cling to comfort, even when it's making you miserable, you are keeping yourself stuck. Growth requires movement. Elevation requires letting go. But the mind, when trapped in toxic patterns, resists change because it fears losing control. It convinces you that staying in the familiar, even if it's painful, is safer than stepping into the unknown. But the unknown is where all transformation happens. The greatest breakthroughs, the most profound awakenings, the deepest levels of freedom, they all exist on the other side of your fear. The seventh sign is feeling disconnected from yourself, from others, from life itself. When your vibration is low, life feels dull, meaningless, heavy. You go through the motions, but something inside you feels empty. This is because toxic thinking cuts you off from your own life force. It keeps you trapped in your mind, disconnected from your soul, from your intuition, from the deeper intelligence that is always guiding you. But the moment you break free from these patterns, you reconnect with everything. You start to feel alive again. You start to see the world with new eyes. You start to realize that you were never stuck, you were just programmed to believe you were. So now ask yourself, which of these patterns are running your life? And more importantly, are you willing to break free? Because the truth is, you have a choice. You are not your thoughts. You are the awareness behind them. And the moment you decide to reclaim your mind, you reclaim your power. The hidden cost of toxic thinking: how it steals your energy, success, and happiness. Most people don't realize the real cost of their thoughts. They assume that thinking negatively is just a minor inconvenience, a natural part of life that has no real consequences. But here's the truth: your thoughts are not harmless. They are either fueling your power or draining it. They are either expanding your reality or shrinking it. And if you are trapped in toxic thinking patterns, you are paying a price far greater than you realize. The first thing toxic thinking steals from you is your energy. Every thought you think requires energy. Your brain is constantly emitting electrical signals, and those signals either generate life force or deplete it. Have you ever noticed how uplifting conversations, inspiring ideas, or moments of deep gratitude make you feel energized? And how overthinking, worrying, or dwelling on the past leave you feeling exhausted, even if you haven't done anything physically demanding? That's because your mind is either charging your energy field or draining it. If you are constantly stuck in toxic thoughts, self-doubt, regret, fear, resentment, you are leaking energy at an alarming rate. You may not see it happening, but you feel it. You wake up tired. You go through the day feeling heavy. No matter how much rest you get, you never feel fully recharged. And that's because your mind is consuming more energy than your body can replenish. The second thing toxic thinking steals is your success. Success is not just about skill or intelligence, it's about mindset. It's about vibration. The most successful people in the world are not just talented, they think differently. They operate from a frequency of confidence, possibility, and abundance. They expect success. They believe in themselves. And because of that, they take actions that align with a high vibrational reality. But if your mind is filled with doubt, fear, and hesitation, you sabotage yourself before you even begin. You hesitate to take risks. You second-guess your ideas. You procrastinate because deep down, you don't believe you can win. And success does not come to those who hesitate, it comes to those who step forward with certainty. And think about it, how many opportunities have you missed because your mind convinced you that you weren't ready? How many times have you talked yourself out of something great because you assumed you would fail? How many dreams have you abandoned because your thoughts made them seem impossible? Toxic thinking is not just a mental habit, it is a force that actively blocks you from stepping into your highest potential. The third thing toxic thinking steals is your happiness. And this is the most tragic cost of all, because happiness is not something you find, it is something you generate. It is a byproduct of your vibration. But if your mind is constantly focused on what's wrong, on what you lack, on what could go wrong, then you will never feel fulfilled, no matter what you achieve. Have you ever noticed how some people have everything: success, money, relationships, but still feel miserable? And how others, who have far less, radiate joy effortlessly? That's because happiness is not about circumstances, it's about perspective. It's about the quality of your thoughts. If your mind is wired to see life through a lens of negativity, you will always find something to complain about. Always. Even if everything in your life improves, your thoughts will find a way to focus on what's missing. Imagine this: you achieve your biggest goal. You win, you succeed, you finally get what you've been working for. But because your mind is trained in toxic thinking, you immediately start worrying about losing it. Or you compare yourself to someone else who has more. Or you convince yourself that it's not enough. And just like that, the happiness you should be experiencing is stolen from you, not by external circumstances, but by your own mind. The top 1% of spiritually awakened individuals understand this deeply. They know that happiness is not something they will achieve one day, it is a state they cultivate now. They train their minds to focus on gratitude, on possibility, on the beauty of the present moment. They do not allow toxic thinking to rob them of their joy, because they know that joy is the foundation of everything. A high vibration is not something you reach, it is something you maintain. And that maintenance requires discipline. But here's the real danger of toxic thinking: it doesn't just affect you, it affects the people around you. Your energy is contagious. When you walk into a room, people feel your vibration before you even speak. If you are stuck in low-frequency thoughts, you are not just lowering your own energy, you are influencing the energy field of everyone you interact with. Have you ever been around someone who drains the life out of the room? Someone who always has something negative to say, who always expects the worst, who always carries a heavy energy? That person's vibration affects you, whether you realize it or not. And if you are trapped in toxic thinking, you are doing the same thing to others. But here's the good news: just as toxic thinking drains life force, high-frequency thinking restores it. The moment you shift your thoughts, you shift your energy. The moment you stop feeding into negativity, you reclaim your power. And the moment you decide that you will no longer allow toxic patterns to dictate your reality, everything begins to change. So now, ask yourself, what is toxic thinking costing you? How much energy have you lost? How much success have you blocked? How much happiness have you sacrificed? And more importantly, are you willing to stop paying the price? Because the truth is, your mind is either your greatest ally or your greatest enemy, and you are the one who decides which it will be. Reprogramming your mind: how to escape toxic thinking and rewire your reality. Breaking free from toxic thinking isn't about forcing yourself to think positive or ignoring the problems in your life. It's about understanding that your mind is a tool, a powerful one, but if left unchecked, it can become your greatest obstacle. Most people live their entire lives as prisoners of their own thoughts, unaware that they have the power to reprogram their mind and in turn rewire their entire reality. Your brain is like a computer running on old software. If you've been conditioned to think in patterns of doubt, fear, and negativity, then that is the program your mind will default to. And just like a computer infected with a virus, your thoughts will work against you, sabotaging your energy, your decisions, and your ability to create the life you truly want. But here's the truth: you can rewrite the program. You can delete the old code and install a new system, one that aligns with abundance, clarity, and power. The first step in reprogramming your mind is becoming aware of the thoughts that are running in the background. Most people operate on autopilot, reacting to life without ever questioning the scripts they are following. But awareness is the key to transformation. Start observing your thoughts as if you were an outsider looking in. Pay attention to the patterns. What do you tell yourself when you make a mistake? How do you react when something doesn't go your way? What's the first thought that enters your mind when you wake up in the morning? These thoughts are the foundation of your reality, and if they are rooted in limitation and self-sabotage, they must be rewritten. Once you become aware of your toxic thinking patterns, the next step is interruption. Your brain is wired to repeat what is familiar, so if you've spent years thinking in a certain way, those thought patterns have become deeply ingrained. But just because they are ingrained doesn't mean they are permanent. Every time you catch yourself falling into a toxic thought cycle, interrupt it. Say stop out loud if you have to. Break the pattern. When your mind tells you that you're not good enough, challenge it. Ask yourself, is this thought helping me or hurting me? Is it based on truth or fear? This simple act of questioning weakens the grip of toxic thinking. But interruption alone isn't enough. You must replace the old thoughts with new ones. Think of your mind like a garden. If you remove the weeds of toxic thinking but don't plant anything new, negativity will grow back. You must consciously plant new thoughts that align with the life you want to create. Start affirming your power, your worth, your ability to succeed. Speak it out loud. Write it down. Repeat it until it becomes your new default setting. The top 1% of spiritually awakened individuals understand that the mind is a tool that must be trained, and they do this daily. They do not wait for a crisis to start shifting their thoughts. They condition their minds every single day. The final step in reprogramming your mind is emotional alignment. Thoughts alone are not enough to shift your vibration. You must feel the reality you are creating. If you affirm abundance but inside you feel lack, your frequency will not change. Your emotions are the fuel behind your thoughts. If you want to break free from toxic thinking, you must embody the energy of the reality you desire. Feel the confidence, the clarity, the freedom as if it were already yours. The universe does not respond to words, it responds to frequency. And when your thoughts, emotions, and actions align, reality has no choice but to shift. So now, ask yourself, are you willing to take control of your mind? Are you ready to stop being a prisoner of toxic thinking and start becoming the conscious creator of your life? Because the truth is, the only thing standing between you and the reality you desire is the way you think. And the moment you decide to rewrite the program, you reclaim your power. The high vibration mindset: how to stay free from toxic thinking for life. Escaping toxic thinking is not a one-time event, it is a lifelong practice. The mind always seeks to return to what is familiar. So if you are not intentional about maintaining a high vibration mindset, old patterns will creep back in. This is why so many people make progress, feel better for a while, and then fall back into the same cycles of doubt, fear, and negativity. The real challenge is not just breaking free, it's staying free. And the key to staying free is mastering your inner world so completely that toxic thoughts cannot take root in your mind anymore. The first principle of maintaining a high vibration mindset is protecting your mental environment. Just as you wouldn't let poison into your body, you must stop allowing toxic influences into your mind. This means being selective about what you consume: news, social media, conversations, entertainment, even the people you surround yourself with. Every single thing you expose yourself to is either raising your vibration or lowering it. If you constantly absorb negativity, fear, and limitation, your mind will reflect that. The most spiritually awakened individuals understand that their energy is their most valuable asset, and they guard it fiercely. They do not engage in gossip, they do not dwell on problems, and they do not feed thoughts that drain them. They create an environment both internally and externally that supports their highest frequency. The second principle is mastering your emotional state. Thoughts and emotions are deeply connected, and if you allow your emotions to be dictated by external circumstances, you will always be at the mercy of your environment. But the most powerful individuals operate differently. They do not wait for life to feel good before they decide to feel good. They consciously cultivate emotions of gratitude, joy, and peace, regardless of what is happening around them. This is not about ignoring reality, it's about choosing the frequency you operate from. If you allow yourself to drop into low vibrational emotions, every time something doesn't go your way, you will constantly be pulled back into toxic thinking. But if you train yourself to hold a high vibration, even in difficult moments, you become unstoppable. The third principle is daily mental conditioning. Just as you wouldn't go to the gym once and expect to stay in shape forever, you cannot expect to maintain a high vibration mindset without consistent practice. This means engaging in daily rituals that reinforce your new way of thinking, meditation to clear your mind, affirmations to rewire your subconscious, visualization to keep your energy aligned with your highest reality, gratitude to shift your focus to abundance. The top 1% of spiritually awakened individuals do not leave their mental state to chance. They train it like a muscle every single day. They know that their thoughts are the foundation of their reality, and they take full responsibility for shaping them. The fourth principle is taking aligned action. It is not enough to think differently, you must act differently. Every decision you make either reinforces your new mindset or pulls you back into the old one. If you want to escape toxic thinking permanently, you must start living in a way that reflects your highest vibration. This means setting boundaries with people who drain your energy. It means pursuing the things that excite and inspire you. It means stepping into your power and making choices from a place of clarity rather than fear. When your actions align with your highest frequency, toxic thoughts lose their grip on you. The final principle is self-awareness. No one is immune to negative thoughts. Even the most enlightened beings experience moments of doubt, frustration, or fear. But the difference is, they do not let those thoughts control them. They recognize them, observe them, and let them go. They do not attach to them or allow them to dictate their reality. You must develop this same level of awareness. When a toxic thought arises, do not resist it or judge yourself for having it. Simply notice it, acknowledge that it is not who you are, and choose to shift your focus. The more you practice this, the more automatic it becomes. So now ask yourself, are you willing to commit to a high vibration mindset for life? Are you ready to take full control of your thoughts, emotions, and energy? Because the truth is, once you master your inner world, nothing in the external world can shake you. You become the creator of your reality, operating from a place of power, clarity, and peace. And once you reach that level, toxic thinking is no longer even an option. It is simply something you have outgrown.